What is up, guys? Wraec is here with a new video, and today we are doing the Legend Trial Tower of Will, the Mauler Tower, floor 90, which is the last stage. So basically I've cleared now everything below that, and I'm a bit surprised it ends right here, mainly because that isn't too high. I mean, it certainly takes a little bit to get there, but I started getting temporal essence around stage 75, floor 75, and I thought it will continue a lot longer because, well, we need a ton of temporal essence. And now it's the end on floor 90, so yeah, bit surprised about that, thought it would be a bit more there, but okay, we'll kill it. So my team here is basically built around Odie. You want to keep this Odie alive. For that we use multiple things. We first of course have our tank team, Kruger and Antandra. Basically Antandra shields Kruger, gives him some damage reduction, makes him very tanky, and those two just run into the enemy and survive for as long as Odie needs to clear those all of those enemies one by one. We have Coco to make that a bit easier, we have Smokey to make that a bit easier, and that is just our plan to do that. So let's just try and we'll see how that works out. So basically Odie starts sniping the enemies. In best case he has enough time to get his poison going. And once we have that, there is a little poison counter. Once this surpasses the enemy HP bar, well, this enemy is dead. And he puts that on the enemies one after the other, takes them out, and we have to survive for as long as he takes to do that, because basically the rest of those guys don't really do enough damage. From my experience, but this seems kind of promising. So we got 4 kills there. Our Kruger and Antandra died though, so that was kind of insane. And that is indeed the top floor reached. You can see it right there, another 250 hero essence, which I gladly accept, and most damage dealt by Odie, as expected. So let's take a little look at basically how this tower looks now. Yeah, it looks all cleared, so nothing we can do there. I hope they enhance it a little bit, because I want to get more temporal essence. Can we see that? No, we can't look at the other towers right now. On the other ones I'm a bit lower. Though Tower of Light we are also nearing the completion. And that will basically end the Legend Trial game for me. Given we are rather strong, those were the levels that we had. We had Supreme Plus on all of the heroes that we had in there. Aside from Antandra, she's just Supreme. And weapon levels weren't even that insane. We had +0 here, +5 on the Odie, I have to enhance that, +5 on the Smokey, and +5 on the Coco. So that was really nothing insane. The Supreme Plus of course might take a little bit. The Odie, I would have done a lot better if we had the 600 initial energy from the +10 there, because we really use his weapon. That was the little arrow above the enemy HP bar. Odie immediately defeats poisoned enemies when their HP falls below a certain limit, which is equal to 5.2 times the base damage dealt by the dart poison, which is of course enhanced if you upgrade the weapon to +15, which would be very helpful for this. Each time a poisoned enemy hero is defeated, the limit is increased by 0.5 times the base damage dealt by dart poison per second. So he is really our hero to clear those enemies, and it works reasonably well as long as your rest of your team is quite tanky and you have an overall high hero level. Coco is also pretty good for that. We have her weapon there as well. After damage recorded in full energy has been settled, all allies gain a shield for 7 seconds. This shield is actually quite huge. Once you get to Mythic Plus you get that, so that is very nice. And you really need, well, like at least some tanky hero for the front row. I don't think it necessarily has to be Kruger. Kruger has a few advantages for that. The first one is this: when a battle starts, Kruger gains a shield that blocks damage if no allies are present within the surrounding one tile. So that is why he was standing alone there. So he got like an extra shield, which is very helpful. We have the life drain, so you could even if you don't run Antandra and run a more ranged hero there, he would also benefit from that. If you upgrade his weapon, it also becomes a little bit more easy, because you get the extra shield value there. We have the distance limit removal, so that can be good. It's not necessary, I think. It's not necessary. Smokey just for the heals. I don't think I have to explain Smokey. For the most part, he just used his heal. There is this one thing from, I think it's also his weapon, with the third upgrading effect from the aroma. I think I saw that a few times. We deal a bit of true damage from him sometimes, but most of the time he provides some heals, provides some buffs, and that's really about it. For other heroes from this faction, I mean, we have a few selections. We also have the option of Shark here. Would work definitely very, very well if you have him upgraded far enough. Is less of a support to Odie, I guess. Is more of a damage dealer type. If you want something like that, maybe it can help you go above a stage where you're a bit stuck. If you go a bit more offensive, that can work. For a Tundra, obviously, I mean, we are looking at taunt, we are looking at shields, we are looking at damage reduction. All of this is very helpful. If you have it, it can be very, very good. But also here, we don't really have weapon levels. Wraec is the last one that we have. Not particularly a fan of Wraec for this, because Wraec moves around all the time. And I think the main thing for our heroes is to be between the enemy and Odie. At least that is the strategy for this team. So that is why I'm not really a particular fan of Wraec in that regard. So maybe don't use her if you don't have another hero. I think it will work. Other than that, as I said, Brutus mainly because you have the immunity. He's immune to the first vital blow he receives. He's then immune and becomes to all damage and becomes unaffected for 5 seconds. So that is still a great ability, at least to give you 5 seconds. For Odie though, you might need a bit more than that. So I reckon the Kruger strategy might be a bit better. So overall, did I like the experience in Tower, the Legend Trial in the Tower? I have to say, for a lot of stages I didn't really have to make too many adjustments. For most stages that I had to make an adjustment, it was either because of a Vala or because of a Sylvana mark on my Odie, and then I just changed the positioning and it worked. Or I got like hard stuck. That was like the thing. I like that you get the essences from this, Tidal Essence and Temporal Essence. You don't get Twilight Essence, by the way. It's not in there. I think one thing that a lot of people wanted was like auto battle, like for the AFK stages. That is not in Tower of Will. The only thing that really changes for in a lot of situations where you're not really stuck is that you have to click 2 times more. So if you put auto battle in there, I think people would like that in a way. And other than that, it's just too short. For all of the essence that we need, it is just a joke. Because right now, I mean, I didn't upgrade too many +10 weapons, and I have 3. I have 3 temporal essence, which is crazy. I have 491 Twilight Essence. The temporal essence is so low, and the only mode where I really get it all the time or consistently, where we have to do some more fights to get up there in points, is here. Can I find the right button? My god. Ranking. There. Okay. Where we are usually not in 11, 20, but in the top 10. And there we get 4. Which is not even enough for a normal upgrade. So that is a bit crazy. I think there needs to be some improving around that, and hope for the first step that they make Legend Trial a bit longer, maybe add like another 90 stages to that, give us auto battle, put the temporal essence in there for those levels, and then we can see. Other problem with that would probably be scaling, because if it scales pretty fast up, I mean, we have Supreme Plus heroes with level 220, so that's not exactly low. Yeah, and for the last thing for that, my tip, of course, that I always say, we have level 210 here on one slot, and our heroes in general are 210. Don't forget that you can move your heroes here at any given time and switch those levels over to whatever hero you want. And obviously, if you go for Tower of Will for a specific, or into one of the specific towers for the faction, you want to have your faction heroes in there to get those 210 levels. I used my Supreme Plus here. I could, of course, put Antandra in there to get to 220. And if I go into Graveborn, I might just go like this and switch my Graveborn heroes in there. So make sure you do that. That will give you a lot more stats and will definitely help you clear a few more stages. Other than that, how far are you in the tower? Did you also go for the Mauler tower first? I mean, you kind of have to clear them all at the same time. But is it also the one where you are the furthest? And yeah, let me know all of that in the comments. Did you like it? And with that, I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.